having an amazing day. Today is the last final day of November, and as promised, I'm going to talk to you about my ayahuasca ceremonies this past weekend. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so thank you so much for tuning into November when I post 30 videos in 30 days, and each different day has a theme. And today's theme is Plant Medicine Monday, and so today I'm going to talk to you about my experiences with ayahuasca over this past weekend. Over this past weekend, I took part in 2 ceremonies, and this was my first time doing ayahuasca in Canada, and this was ceremony 9 and 10 for me. So I've done previously 8 ceremonies, all done in Costa Rica, and I had 2 amazing ceremonies this past weekend. So right off the bat, I'm feeling like myself again. I feel back to being Zoe again, no more of this heavy energy, which is such a gift and such a blessing. And yeah, so I'll tell you a little bit about how things went. The thing with ayahuasca is there's just so much happening and being learned all at once. That's been my experience anyways, that I'll give you guys the gist of my trips, I guess you could say, my psychedelic experiences this past weekend, but a lot of the learning comes and the reflection of the change comes afterwards. But right off the bat, I feel refreshed, I feel renewed, I feel back to myself, and I just feel love. So yeah, I mean, those of you who tuned into November knows that it was a bit of a roller coaster ride, healing of a time. So yeah, I mean, let's get into it. So ceremony 1 was really special because, well, I mean, they're always really special, but what happened was we first started by getting saged and like blessed by the shaman. And when I was getting saged with the feathers and whatnot, the shaman, she said, both female shamans, she said, wow, a new career for you. And so that was exciting because that was an intuitive message that she received. And she's like, did you just start a new endeavor? There's something new that you just started, and it's in a new career and it's abundant. And I was like, well, you know, I went back to school during the pandemic, so in acting, and so that was really cool that she picked up on that. And that just gave me this glimmer of hope, because I feel like as I've been navigating these lower level emotions and this healing, I've just been so consumed with the healing that I'm not feeling into myself as in that version of Zoe who's always creating the future and always visualizing and anticipating and thinking about the abundance to come. There was no mental capacity for that, or there hasn't been, because I've just been so overwhelmed and so consumed by my own emotions. So that was nice to get that message right off the bat, and I just felt really excited to do ayahuasca. The fear and the nerves came, you know, floating in a little bit here and there during the day, of like a little bit of nervous energy, but more towards excitement. So then what happened, we drank the medicine. Yeah, I mean, those of you who tasted ayahuasca, it's not the greatest tasting thing. It's like an ick, but it's part of the journey. Then I went back down to my mattress, and I just sat there and just allowed it to kick in, take some time. There was music playing. It's always really beautiful music, and you recognize that the medicine is starting to kick in because you can feel it, and then you start to like really feel into the music. And what happened first and foremost is that I started to get visions, like a lot of visuals coming in, like my third eye, and I was seeing the Amazon. It was so cool. I was like a drone flying over the jungle, like following a river, and I saw gorillas, like a gorilla family walking through the grass, like all these like intense, I don't know, like visuals of the jungle, and like eyes of like tigers. And it was so amazing because sure, I've watched like Planet Earth jungles, or I might know what the jungle was like, but it was like I was actually there, like there in a way that I've never been before. And it was, I mean, entertaining. Like one day I was like, wow, the spirit of the jungle is like within me. And I was flying over like water with like lots of birds, like over top of birds. And what was happening as I was seeing all these beautiful visuals is that ayahuasca, she was telling me that all of this beauty is me. All of the nature is me. All of these things that I find so fascinating and intricate and just abundant is me. And she was just filling me up with all these beautiful I am statements, like I am love, I am beauty, I am nature, I am all these things, and just really downloading that into my system. And then there was just like a lot of other visuals happening that I don't necessarily know what they meant, but there was like some cartoon stuff, some crackling, some tribal stuff, some animals, like just, you get a lot of visuals. And Gerard Powell from Rhythmia, he always talks about it as like Miss Moon's magic math. Like, you might see a bunch of stuff that you really can't make sense of, but it's while she's working away in your mind and in your body that there's just like things projected. So yeah, a lot random stuff. And yeah, then what happened was she told me that I was in this great rest period of my life, and I was being a little bit concerned because I've never actually drank ayahuasca and not gotten nauseous. Even though I haven't purged most ceremonies, like out of the 10 ceremonies that I've done now, I've only purged twice. And I was anticipating the purge. I'm like, oh, I'm not nauseous. Am I supposed to be nauseous? And she's like, no, this is your journey right now. She said, you have been doing the hard work outside of ceremony. In the 3-dimensional reality, you've been doing the hard work. You've been crying. She's like, you've been crying. You've been like sharing your truth on YouTube. You've been doing all the work. You've been doing everything that you've been called to do, and then some. You've been listening to your path. You've been listening to your journey. You've been listening to your healing. And I'm giving you exactly what you need right now, which is love. And the reminder and the mirror that you are the beauty of the universe within a human. And I just like, so she was just filling me up with love, right? And I feel it. Like, I still feel it. I feel brand new. I feel restored. And she also told me that because I was exhausted, like in this great rest, which is similar to the message that I got in a psilocybin ceremony a few weeks ago, is that I'm meant to be resting right now and that big things are to come. She told me big love is coming. A big, abundant chapter of my life is coming. Not yet, but I'm in the cocoon. Like, I'm in the chrysalis, and I just need to be taken care of and allow the energetic preparation to happen right now. And I just was feeling like tired still. Like, my body felt really heavy, and she told me that she was clearing the heaviness out of my body right now, like clearing and transforming the energies. And as a visual, she showed me that like my body was lying there and she was just extracting the dark, unserving energies, like anything that I've ever held within myself. And as she was like extracting the energies, what was happening in my visuals was that she was pulling out memories and reframing them and putting them back in. Anything that ever happened, like that I chose to create a meaning around me being unlovable or me not receiving love or anything along those lines of like fear of love or not receiving love or having these false limiting beliefs around love and love being for me, she was pulling out and reframing them and putting them back in. And as she was doing that was like when the energetic, like dark energy was being extracted from my body. And this went on for like a period of time, and there was like a little bit of communication with her and there. I was asking questions while she was doing all this, but it all made sense. And it's crazy the stuff that comes up in ceremonies, like random stuff from my past that I just hadn't thought about in years, really. And yeah, she was just reframing memories. And what was really cool, I thought was really cool anyways, I had to get up in ceremony to go pee. So I get up and I walk to the bathroom, turn on the light in the bathroom, and with my eyes, like in the 3-dimensional reality, I'm looking every part of my body, like my limbs, like this dark energy extraction was still happening. And I saw like, it looked like smoke, but it was more of like energy. Like it looked more like energy than it looked like smoke, but it was dark, like black, like energy that was coming off of my body. And it was crazy because I started to like play with it. Like I like whipped my arm and whipped my hand and like more energy would come off. It was wild, but like it was like I just started to feel more like myself again. This darker, this heaviness, whatever's been upon me was being released and being transformed and healed. And yeah, it was really beautiful. The ceremony was amazing, the music is amazing, and yeah, after that I just went in and lied down, and I didn't really sleep, to be honest, but that's okay. Like the ceremony went overnight and just was what it was. My mind was and my body was too activated to fall asleep. And then the ceremony the next night, yeah, drank the medicine again. And I remember like through the day, I just like really just felt into love, and I wasn't afraid to do ayahuasca the next night, even though I was like, oh, I had a loving night, maybe I'm in a purge night, maybe it's gonna be scary again. I just went into ceremony, I'm like, I'm not afraid, like I'm gonna be fine, I'm gonna come out the other side and I'm gonna feel better than ever. And right now I know that it doesn't have to be hard. Like that was the message that she gave to me, was that I was in such expectation that because I've been going through a difficult time, that ceremony was gonna be savage or difficult for me, when really she was giving me exactly what I needed, which was to feel loved, which was to recognize the love that I am. She always gives you what you need, and that's like such beauty of it. And like, I just feel so much love. I just feel so much love in myself right now. And yeah, I know that everything she gave me is not gonna go away. As always, it never goes away. And yeah, so the next night I intended again for her to heal my heart and like heal the resistance I felt around my heart. So through the day, I'm like, it doesn't have to be hard, but like I felt some kind of like energetic block around, I guess this is like the left side of my chest area. Like I just felt like there's something here. I don't know what it is, but there's something in my chest that feels heavy or like unserving or like a block. So that was my intention, was to work through, again, my fears around love, the blocks around my heart, the resistance towards relationships, the fears of having a relationship. So I took the medicine and I went down to my bed and I just started yawning right away, right? So that's part of the purging, is you can be yawning, and it was just like deep, giant like yawns like coming out of me, like ah, like so many yawns. And she was reminding me, she's like, it's the great rest, like I want you to rest, there's nothing to worry about this ceremony, just rest. So then I like lied down and just like cozied in, and as I was lying down, the medicine was kicking in more. It was like this giant weight on my chest that like pushed me into the bed. Like pushed me into the bed, and my limbs were so heavy that I couldn't even move, and I just felt all this heaviness on my chest. No nausea, again, which was a blessing. And I just asked what I was supposed to do, and she said, just feel into your chest, like feel into the heaviness. What is the resistance that's been created around your heart space? And as I was feeling into it, and like honestly I was feeling into it for a long time. It felt heavy for a long time. This wasn't like I just feel into it for a minute or two and then it's released. It was like, no, I had to deeply feel into this heaviness in my chest. And as I was deeply feeling into the heaviness of my chest, I had like these weird memories or thought patterns like just kind of get extracted and pulled out and like put away. And some of them were around like the feeling that I have that like my parents are disappointed in me, or they think I should be in a different place than where I am in my life, and like just like heavy things that I guess I've hung on to in some way and like made mean something, that I'm like unlovable or I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Like there was a lot of these things being released about the timeline of my life and expectations of others and how I took that on, or how I made them mean things about myself. And that just started to get released. And like I said, I was in it for a long time, this heaviness. But then what happened is like I just kept feeling into it, and then it started to get a bit lighter. Like it got heavier and heavier, and then it started to get lighter. I was releasing this heaviness in my chest, these blocks in my heart. And yeah, it was beautiful. And I asked her some questions, and I said, after we worked and healed the blocks in my chest, that weird resistant energy went away from me, and I just felt like free. I felt light. She was really blessing me with a ceremony where I was allowed to relax. Like my limbs were very heavy. I wasn't nauseous. I was very comfortable. Well, like comfortable in the sense that like my body was at peace while she was working on me. There was no nausea. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, I just got healed. And I asked her some questions, and one question that came to me was, because with relationships, I have this thing where I don't believe that the person that I like could be attracted to me, or I don't really recognize or believe that I am attractive. And that's been something that's like why I hold relationships away or don't go for it or just like don't do that, is because part of me is like they'll never be attracted to me, or I don't believe them when they say that they are attracted to me. And I was like, what is that about? Can you heal that for me? Can you show me what that's about? Can we work through that tonight? And it was so beautiful because she did. She fixed it. And what she showed me was like, she showed me looking into a mirror. And as I looked into this mirror, it was like I saw my mom. I saw that I look like my mom, and subconsciously, because I know that I look like my mom, I don't find myself attractive, because I don't find who she is as a human being attractive. I'm like repulsed by the way that she's like treated me or treated herself through this life. And that's why I haven't been able to find myself attractive. And that was something that was like somewhat in my awareness, as there's been times when I've like looked in the mirror and I thought I saw her, and I've just been like, oh my God, like, no. But ayahuasca showed me that that's the reason why I block myself from recognizing that I'm attractive, because I look like her. And so when she showed me that, she healed that. And she told me like, you are Zoe, you are not your mother. You are the universe, as I showed you. You are all the beauty of the universe and a human being. And like, it's time to recognize your beauty. It's time to recognize that you are attractive, that you are loved, that you are all these things. And so this was just one block or barrier that she removed. And she's like, it's time to love on yourself. So that was really special, because that's been something I've struggled with and just not really understood. And that's what the beautiful thing about ayahuasca is, that you might have these weird blocks or these weird things that show up, like, why don't I feel like I'm attractive? Like, why can't I? Why do I feel so inhibited around people, so blocked around people, or in disbelief that someone could like me, or like what I look like? Even though like I love my body, and I can like love on myself and be like, I love who I am, and there's nothing that I would change about my looks. But then there's this different part of like attracting a partner and like not believing that they could be attracted to me, like not feeling like I'm attractive to them, because it was just like these subconscious things I had around my mom and love and stuff. So very, very interesting how you go into the depths of these dimensions of your thoughts and everything that you are as a human, and energy. And yeah, like, I mean, I'm still processing. Integration takes some time. This is just what I'm telling you coming off of this weekend, but I could tell you so much more, and I probably will tell you so much more as things start to show up and are reflected back to me after these journeys. But overall, it was a loving experience, and I love ayahuasca. I love plant medicine. I love the healing capabilities of it, and there's nothing to be afraid of. Like, she showed me, like, I was anticipating that it was going to be hard because I've had a hard time, but she always gives you what you need in that moment, and it doesn't have to be hard. It could just be easy. It's just time to like liberate ourselves from the things that weigh us down, and that's what she does. So yeah, anyways, I feel restored, I feel renewed, and yeah, I'm really happy and grateful I did that. I'm going back in 2 weeks to do 2 more ceremonies, and I'll for sure update you guys on that. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning into November. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you again very soon.